Hey, how's it going? It's been a minute. Missed the last vlog. Sorry about that. There was really not a lot going on in that week to begin with, and then it ended with a really weekend. But now I'm back with some cool stuff to show you. Starting off with watching the Eternals trailer, which I forgot to watch, so we're doing that. Here we go. Okay, so I wound up going out to a local store here because my buddy Jake, who you've been seeing in the previous vlogs, gave me the heads up that the new Marvel Legends Disney Plus figures already started showing up here. And I was editing together the reveal photo for my custom Rosario, Dawson, Ahsoka when I went out there and got these figures, and they only had, I think, like one of each, and I managed to score all of them except for Wanda and Loki. So super fortunate here because I had no idea these figures were even releasing this early until like this past week, and then sure enough, it actually really worked out, and I'm just so happy to basically be able to put these pre-orders behind me and, you know, just not have to worry about grabbing these guys because they are absolutely fantastic, especially the John Walker likeness here. Check that out. I think that is super close to Wyatt Russell, especially for a retail figure, even though unfortunately the torso and the helmet is inaccurate. He's actually going to Jake, but check this out. Speaking of likenesses, look at White Vision here. I mean, this is sick. That just looks so great for a retail figure. Obviously, you know, it's very broken up with the joints and everything, but what can you do? You also might have noticed that I did finally display my Clone Wars collection, the new Black Series Clone Wars figures that we scored at the beginning of the previous vlog a couple weeks ago, early in the morning at Target. Those are up on display now and look so fantastic. So again, huge thanks to Jakey Figs, my buddy Jake. I'll drop a link to his Instagram down in the description below, and yeah, we're actually meeting up in just a few minutes. However, my Rosario Dawson Ahsoka reveal photo did actually go up over on my socials. It was even crazier actually because Rosario Dawson herself wound up seeing the photo over on Twitter. Now I've got a bunch of things to show you in this vlog. Of course, here is Rosario Dawson Ahsoka so far, and just to give you a little bit more of a look at the detail that I've been painting onto the arms. I still have a ways to go on the back with all that stuff, but she's coming along so well. And I mean, obviously, even though I took a very long time off from making this figure, I am just so happy with how it is, you know, really starting to slowly come together. And I kind of mentioned it over on Twitter, but I mean, this Rosario Dawson Ahsoka head sculpt and the painting process have really made the previous Clone Wars Ahsokas kind of look like a walk in the park. And now that I've taken Ahsoka reasonably far, I have gotten back to work on BO-KATAN a bit finally, which I am so excited to be doing. This minifigure was turning out just so good before, of course, I got to work on the Justice League minifigures over the spring. So last night, I took the custom BO-KATAN hairpiece by Astar Bricks, which is really fantastic, just really short. And they were kind enough to provide these to me, and I really appreciated that. So I got a couple of these in the mail a while back, but now it was finally time to attempt to sculpt an extension, and I'm still kind of in the middle of it. It's coming along pretty well. This is still kind of curing at the moment, but essentially the idea here is just to make it a little bit longer, and it's going to require another sculpting session or two and a session of cleaning up and sanding. But yeah, I mean, this was just unfortunately a little bit too short, so I had to take it upon myself to attempt this extension. It's just last night, the night of the 24th, let me tell you, man, I botched this extension so bad, and I mean, I got very frustrated, had to scrape off all the Procreate, and then I attempted it again today. I mean, doing it the exact same way, and it worked out fine. And now it just needs a couple more sessions of sculpting, a bit of sanding, and we're good to go for painting. I thought that was really funny. I'm just so glad it's finally coming together now, though. And over here, we've got some exciting new stuff from Tristan at the Custom Brick Builder, and I picked these up from his store, his new Frog Lady head. That's right, I may be featuring Frog Lady in the showcase to some capacity because man, do I want to paint these pieces. Look at this canister. How fantastic are these designs and how clean these prints are. And it's hard to do with one hand, but the canister does flip open. So, I mean, this is really cool. But also I got one of his printed fur coat pieces, and I was thinking I may or may not wind up using this on Zemo. These are actually for his Range Trooper sets, actually from Solo. And these are something I really wanted to talk about for a second because these are extended legs. I mean, we'll use Thrawn here as an example. I was wondering when we would finally start to see this become more mainstream in the new printing community that has come up. And we finally have Tristan at the Custom Brick Builder doing extended legs, custom printed, obviously with a texture that has to be sanded off, but this is definitely, I think, better than slicing off the feet on an existing Lego minifigure and trying to replace them with 1x1 tiles. So, I mean, this opens so many doors. I hope stuff like this, kind of pushing the bounds of the standards for Lego minifigures, does become more mainstream, so that the modding process for, you know, taller characters or bulkier characters can become easier over time. This is a really big step in that direction. But I did want to show you guys this. While watching new vlogs, you probably see this wall in the background right next to my main setup all the time, but it never changes. And I finally got up on a ladder and fixed all of this up, moving all of my Attack of the Clones and new Bad Batch figures onto this wall, and also Jar Jar 2. And I totally updated my Halo wall up here as well. I pulled the Slave 1 and Boba Fett from Sideshow 2011 down and moved those in the other room. And now I've got my Halo, I don't like Halo 5, but I've got my Halo 5 Collector's Edition statue up here now, along with the entire wave of like some of the final McFarlane Halo figures they did. And I have more in my closet that I'm also keeping, but these are the main ones I'm hanging on to. The rest that you kind of saw in the collection room tour video last year on that wall out there, I'm getting rid of. And then also I've got the Didact out now with Halo 4 Chief, because previously I had the Didact tucked all the way back here, and he is one of my favorite video game characters ever, so I wanted to get him out in the open finally to celebrate just how not only great the character is, but how awesome that figure still is. Like, God, almost, I guess, 8 years later. Anyway, BO-KATAN's hairpiece has turned out really awesome, and everybody over on the Patreon story has already seen this, but I did paint up the Katie Sackhoff face now with the added cheekbones, repainted lips, the scar, and everything else required to change this face into the live action version of the character. And I've got the full hairpiece painted in actually 2 mixed colors for the actual hair color itself, and then also for the headband, and all the detail is applied. The light red with the orange tones in the sides of the headband for the light up bits, and I am just so happy with how Bo's hairpiece turned out, especially with that extension. So again, huge thanks to Astar Bricks for sending out a couple spares, because this would not have been possible without them. And I am finally starting on the leg detail. But now we've got this, something I have been really excited for quite a while now, the new custom Mandalorian parts by Cold Blood Customs on Instagram, a relatively newer vendor in the community who popped in with basically the best Mandalorian helmet and armor pieces of all time, and I made sure to pre-order a set of each as soon as they were revealed. And to demonstrate for us today, we've got the official Lego Mandalorian from 2019 and the Mandalorian by Phoenix Customs. Now, I'm probably doing a video on these on the main channel, but there it is, the Mandalorian helmet. Absolutely phenomenal. So excited to finally have a pair of these for a couple Mandalorian minifigures. I mean, it's true. These are the best Mandalorian helmets that have ever been produced in this community. So really excited to open this up. But also, of course, as you can see here, we've got a little bit of sticky tack included with some micro magnets, because the idea is essentially you drop a bit of this sticky tack inside the minifigure arms and then slide the micro magnets in there as well, and make sure you do it on the right side. And then they essentially have magnetic shoulder pieces. So the shoulder pieces have little magnets integrated into them, and honestly, it's very impressive. I mean, that's really cool. And this goes for the Beskar version 2, which I'll give you a glimpse at in just a second here once we get the season 1 Mando outfitted. Okay, so now I have completed that process, and it was slightly more involved than I was expecting, but that's okay because the result is so fantastic. And as you can see, I've got the new Mando season 1 figure here with all the new Cold Blood upgrades, and as you can see, it is just sick. So my only problem is, of course, these parts are amazing. It's just, you kind of almost have to be a customizer a little bit to watch out for some of the hazards that these parts create, because essentially you have to make sure you get the magnets on the right side. You have to make sure that you use the stack of magnets provided to jam them into the arm sockets a certain way. And you also have to really kind of understand that they may not come out again without a lot of work and really kind of trying to wedge them out with, you know, a toothpick or something else. And so that's kind of a hazard. And also I noticed that once the micro magnets are inserted into the arm sockets, they kind of widen the arm socket itself, so the arm is a tighter fit into the Lego torso. And of course, that means if you're creating even more friction, you're making the arm socket even more difficult to insert into the minifig torso. That torso is going to crack eventually. And obviously Lego minifigure torsos already crack as it is. And so I find myself sanding the arm joints on Lego minifigures a lot more nowadays. And so I did exactly that here with these arms. And also, unfortunately, the helmet is a pretty tight fit, as Cold Blood also mentioned on his Instagram. So I prepared a dark brown head to go underneath the helmet, because personally I think black does not really make sense with the Mandalorian's undersuit. So I've got a dark brown head underneath there, just like on my actual custom Mandalorian minifigure. So I decided I'm definitely not going to be inserting any micro magnets or sanding the arms on my pad printed custom from Phoenix Customs. However, I will be removing the armor from these arms that I just prepared and putting the Beskar armor on these arms instead. And so it's going to be a little bit of a interchanging process there when making the video for the main channel with these, but it's definitely just so good looking and so interesting once you get to the end result that it is definitely worth covering on the main channel. So I think these parts are really cool. He does have like a jetpack and some other accessories coming out too. Unfortunately, I missed the pre-order for those, so I might have to hit him up on that one, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick little look at this. I am definitely pretty impressed. Next, I got in some higher end collector's item minifigures from Mobricks on Instagram. I pre-ordered their T'Challa last year in the wake of Chadwick Boseman's passing, because I had missed out on Phoenix Customs King T'Challa minifigure, and I wasn't really going to go for his John Wesley Snipes Flash, but he decided to, I guess, send one out anyway, and I am very excited about that because I did miss out on that minifigure. I didn't exactly grow up with John Wesley Snipes Flash minifigure or anything, but it is definitely absolutely stunning, and I guess the best minifigure he has ever produced. And these are definitely really cool collector's item minifigures with some pretty wild packaging too. And so these will be featured in a new upcoming video, just kind of including a lot of different custom minifigures from various vendors that I have picked up like this over the last few months. And in that video, I'll also be reviewing these customs by Minifig Madness, the Rosario, Dawson, Ahsoka, and Cobb Vanth, both from the Mandalorian Season 2. He sent out this Cobb Vanth for me a while back, and I definitely did not forget about it and have been using it in my own displays. But now that I've had Ahsoka for a while too, and I'm going to be moving forward with this whole video just kind of reviewing all of these collectible minifigures, I am excited to finally talk about these, because while the printing on these Minifig Madness customs is definitely sufficient and pretty good for the most part, the designs are good. The alternate expression on Ahsoka you can see in there. The lightsabers are cool but fragile, unfortunately. It's just yeah, the printing isn't quite perfect, as you can see on the arms, and also the Ahsoka headpiece has a lot of problems and is very oddly shaped, and I'm going to be covering all of that in the review, but I do still really appreciate these figures quite a bit regardless. And so yeah, I also still don't really think that Cobb Vanth by Minifig Madness looks like Timothy Oliphant. That's why I actually wound up using that head for a Kenobi series inspired what if scenario duel edit that I did, I think right at the tail end of 2020. So I've been hanging on to those figures for a while, and I did want to talk about the Bad Batch for just a second, because of course I did, kind of as I alluded to in the first two videos, stop posting those because I'm going to resume once the series picks up a little more. It's just the Bad Batch episode 3 established the communal uprising basically as a definite thing, and immediately the series was very quick to express just how dark they're willing to go, and how we are no longer in Disney XD territory anymore, with Crosshair and his squad of early Death Troopers wiping out the remaining, early partisans of Saw Gerrera's group on Onderon. And then obviously episode 4 introduced us to Fennec Shand as we got to go back to Pantora. Just amazing and stunning animation throughout, just phenomenal episodes for the most part. But then episode 5 kind of really took us into this Star Wars Rebels territory, which was really disappointing to see, as the Bad Batch hunted down a baby Rancor named Moochie, and a lot of the voice acting from the side characters was pretty bad, even though I think Danny DeVito's wife voiced one of them. It was just really bizarre. Again, still stunning and gorgeous and amazing to watch, but I couldn't really justify stopping what I was doing to edit the reactions that I recorded for episodes that, while are really good and still really fun and are very slightly still gradually moving the story along, don't really, I think, warrant an entire reaction. So I am skipping these episodes for now until the story picks up a little bit more, until Rex kind of enters the scene and all that stuff. I hope you guys can understand, even though I am still really enjoying the Bad Batch. They have 16 episodes to work with, so it's okay if a handful of those episodes is just good Star Wars fun. It's just, it is getting a little bit scary with seeing how, when developing this series, they really are relying on a very formulaic approach for these early episodes and a lot of tropes.
Flashback.
All right, here we go. We're not even turning the lights on for this. Okay. I don't even have it pulled up. Making sure the sound is right, because when you use a lot of screen capture programs for different things, you tend to have a lot of sound input, or output in this case, problems. Anyway, oh my god, who do we have here? IGN, Entertainment Tonight, IGN, Movie Trailer Source. Can I just have the damn, here we go, Marvel Entertainment account? Great. Here we go. Still #1 on trending. Not bad. I feel like I've waited my entire life to watch this trailer, but I'm still very excited to see what they have been working on since, again, what now feels like has been, since the beginning of time with this movie. But the Eternals are finally here to give a shit about the goings-on of the Marvel Cinematic Universe after, should turn this light on, many years in the dark. Does that look better? It's kind of yellow. Everything in this room is yellow. How's this? That's not great either. Okay, we'll go with the yellow.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Thank you for this. Oh, you're welcome.
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
Okay. So, just to preface, I don't know anything about the Eternals, never have, still haven't looked up a single thing about them since 2019. Probably should have by now. It's just, obviously, this looks really cool. I am really fascinated by the Eternals and their technology and their abilities. And it's cool to see the MCU go as far back as they possibly can with mankind. That's really cool to finally see in the MCU. All of this is hopefully going to be very cool. It looks very cool. Of course, the director is brilliant. So, I mean, I don't even know that I feel the same way about this that I did with the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, around 2013, early 2014 time, right? Because, I mean, even, you know, further back than that, 2012, the Guardians of the Galaxy at least looked like space pirates. Seemed interesting, right? It was an interesting idea, right? A raccoon and a tree on a team of, you know, space mercenary outlaws. But this, I don't know yet. Like, I'm not really connecting with anything here. Whereas the first Guardians trailer totally won everybody over, including me. This didn't do a lot for me, but it looks very well shot. It looks stunning. The suits are very cool. I'm hoping the story will be really great and make sense. The talk at the end of Tony and Cap just kind of seems like cheap, hey, this is in the MCU in case this looks so weird that you couldn't tell kind of vibes, which is fine, and I get it, but like, the cast is stacked. So I think you can at least put faith in that. Here's hoping that all this work they've been putting into this movie for the last several years is going to pay off into something that really complements the next era of the MCU. But as of right now, still not won over. But really looking forward to the Lego sets. Those leaked images are still cool. A lot of great Marvel Legends figures coming out for this movie. I am a nerd. Anyway, I'm going to stop it there actually for this vlog. I am going to get back to listening to the Star Wars Legends Kenobi audiobook, which has been the latest one I've been listening to while working on BO-KATAN's legs today. And really, again, hoping to ramp up progress on the Mandalorian Season 2 showcase so I can move on to other projects. And I appreciate you guys being so patient with me and so understanding through a couple of weird weeks here. And so yeah, sorry about no weekly vlog last week again. And yeah, you can look forward to the videos that I mentioned here on Cold Blood's Mandalorian parts and just kind of an overall multi-feature review on all of these various customs from these sellers that I showed you here. So again, I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. Let me know if you did, and I will catch you next week. And I will definitely make sure that there is a vlog next week, so not to worry. But all right, everybody, take care and keep creating. All right, this is the way.